The big video game releases are starting to ramp up again after the slow start of 2016. With big video game releases coming up, March is promising to give us hopefully a lot of good games. Here are the major video game releases for the month of March 2016. The relaunch title back in 2006 will come out as a remade game completely in HD. One of the biggest changes are the gameplay differences with the Wii U gamepad and the flow of the game, like collecting less shadow tears than before. If the remake is worth the price, with the changes and HD upscaling graphics, will be found out on March 4th only on Nintendo Wii U. The attempt from Ubisoft to make an MMO shooter is coming out in March too. The Division, which was already out as enclosed and open beta for some weeks, is playing in a post-apocalyptic snowy New York, where you have to fight against other groups and clans. The game is coming out on PC, the PS4 and Xbox One on the 8th of March. With the new Hitman game being broken off in an episodic game that releases over time, there will be of course different ways to buy the new iteration of the stealth action game. Either with a sort of season pass in advance, where you pay the full price and get the other episodes when they come out, or just paying each episode every time. The first episode of the new Hitman game will include the intro and the first episode that plays in Paris with access to other modes. The first episode of Hitman will come out on PC, PS4 and Xbox One on March 11th. Fight in the Octagon for the second time in UFC 2. In the second iteration of the mixed martial arts fighting game, you can play with a big lineup of legendary fighters like Bruce Lee, Mike Tyson and more. UFC 2 is coming out on the 17th of March in Europe and on the 15th of March in US on the PS4 and Xbox One. The Pokémon fighting game that is developed by Tekken devs of Bandai Namco is mixing popular classic fighting game mechanics with Pokémon characters and their respective attacks. The game lets you play with a lot of popular Pokémon like Pikachu, Charizard, Blaziken and more. The game that at first came out only on Japanese arcades will release with a single player and multiplayer online mode and other content on March 18 only on Nintendo Wii U. Dynasty Warriors Cross the Legend of Zelda will come out a second time on a Nintendo system with Hyrule Warriors Legends. The Wild Mass beat-em-up fighting game with Zelda characters comes to the 3DS with additional characters like Toon Link, Tetra and the King of Hyrule, all originating from the Wind Waker. With additional story elements, the game runs reportedly much better on the new 3DS due to better processing power. The game comes out on the Nintendo 3DS on March 24th in Europe and on March 25th in the US. The ultimate fast racing game, Trackmania, goes into the next round this month with Trackmania Turbo. In the different environments like Stadium, Valley and more, you can drive against your and other players' best times to compete in pre-built and custom-built tracks. The arcade racing game is coming out on the 24th of March in Europe and on 22nd of March in US on the PC, the PS4 and Xbox One. Other games, ports and add-ons worth mentioning coming out in March are the PC port of the wrestling fighting game WWE 2K16 is finally coming out on March 11th. The music Japanese RPG is finally coming out in Europe on the 11th of March for the Nintendo 3DS. The reboot of the racing game franchise Need for Speed that already came out on consoles last year is finally coming out on PC on March 17th. Thanks everyone who watched till the end of this video of my new channel. On this channel you will see similar videos every week, like news roundup videos, video game releases previews, or much more different video game content. With the partnership of the German games website gamesfinest.de, I hope I can deliver much more and better content in the future. So feel free and drop your honest feedback about this and future videos in the comments below or over on my personal Twitter @Chrisoofy. But enough for now. Until next time, have a great March.